Hair Debate podcast. The Hair Debate is a community where hair lovers and professionals come to discuss all things hair. Like we debate and debunk these conversations. I'm your host, Morello Kane, trichologist, speaker, author, here to share with you on today on something that I love, okay, which is talking all things hair, okay. And I have with us our part two with Miss Aeleise.
Hey, Cal.
Aeleise, love, how are you?
I'm great.
Okay, so Aeleise, when I tell you, and on part one, Aeleise, kind of shared the fact that she's been in the industry for 18 years. Okay, Cut It Kinky is our brand. And so when I tell you, but now you're not just here locally in a salon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you are.
Actually, no.
Okay.
So I'm not in the salon at all anymore.
Okay.
I did about 10 years behind the chair.
Okay.
Actually, no. Did a little longer than that behind the chair. You know, you lose track sometimes.
No, you do.
But what happened was education took over.
Okay.
And realizing I can either service just my clients.
Yes.
Or I can help other stylists service more naturals around the world.
Okay.
And so now Cut It Kinky travels essentially all over the world, teaching stylists how to both do the technical, the business, and the cultural parts of working with tight curl clients.
Okay. Oh, I love that. I love that. And so right now you're traveling how many days throughout the week?
Oh, usually I'll say month because it's not every week I'm traveling, but typically I'm going to about 2 or 3 cities a month.
Okay. Oh, wow. Are you serious?
I'm serious. And those trips are usually between 2 and 4 days.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. And so now I'm all up in her business. Okay.
Okay.
I'm all up in her business. So love, how is family life? Like, do you have any children?
I have children. I'm married. I have 2 small children,
So they
3
must be
and
grown,
7.
by grown.
No, 3 and 7. They think they're grown.
oh my God.
I have a 3-nager.
Are you?
And a 17-year-old. But no, they're still very small children.
Oh, okay. You know what? That just went all over my head because in part one, you did say your 7-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But when you were talking about all this traveling, miss that. Like that, that just did not come to mind. Are you serious?
I'm serious. I have an amazing support system.
Oh,
so
you have to.
I do.
My
husband is more than an equal partner. When I say he's
beautiful. Yeah.
Because he's the cooker. I can cook, and I joke I do not cook. I'm probably gonna start cooking a little bit more because I realize I've been quite unfair. But he also works full time as a project manager. And both of our mothers moved from Chicago to the Atlanta area.
Wow.
And we have just gotten out. Both of them are freed from employment things.
So that's a blessing.
It's a blessing to have them around. And we do have a regular babysitter that we can call on breaks and things like that. So it takes a village to do what I do. It's not just me getting on a plane, hopping up and doing stuff. Exactly. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes with it.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's amazing. Okay, that's amazing because, and let me just say this for those of you that are new in the industry, understand that there are so many different things that you can do with this industry. And as you see with Aeleise, her having a family, she's able to travel. Now, okay, you do need that support system. Yes, you do. But understand that, you don't have to service a client just within your city. Okay, just, you can go outside of those borders of your community to service clients. You can go from state to state. And so
let me interject with there. So how I ended up starting to travel was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was going through a divorce.
Okay.
All my friends were here in Atlanta. There's a family situation with a child that's not mine biologically.
Okay.
But I stayed connected to in California. So I was moving back and forth. Actually, can we cut that?
No,
I don't talk about him that much. So the traveling, started about 10 years ago. It came from getting divorced and wanting to move around more. So my friends were in California, in Georgia. I'm in Chicago. The polar vortex of 2013, 2014 happened. You remember?
Yes.
Because that's when it snowed here.
And shut it down.
for my birthday, and I was
Are you
coming here. My
Oh,
birthday, my 30th
wow.
birthday trip was almost
Are
canceled
you?
because I was coming here during snowpocalypse. And so I realized, it's like, why do I live someplace where it's cold? My face is cold. I don't have to live here anymore. I'm from there.
Wow.
And so I moved to Georgia. I kept my clientele in Chicago. I built a clientele in Oakland, California. I did a little bit of things in LA. I eventually got licensed in Georgia, built a clientele here. And I was just kind of popping around.
Oh,
This
wow.
before having children.
Okay.
Popping around doing things because I liked being on planes. I also like talking to people in different states.
Absolutely.
And it was great to get out of my four walls of my salon, of my city, see what the trends were in other areas.
Yes.
And be able to write off on my taxes a nice trip. I'm just saying.
No, absolutely. That's amazing though. I mean, it's amazing to, to see the possibilities, especially, having a new start. And that new start, and all of this is being developed, you're being developed, and how beautiful that is. How beautiful. And so, I mean, guys, there are, again, so many different things that you can do in this industry. So now, with that being said, we were talking about, okay, the common misconceptions, guys. Oh my God, in hair care. Okay. So, why is that, or is it, such a thing? And so, so in part one, love, we were talking about how just the traditions that, from generations of how, we were able to tend to our care, the self-care, all of that came about, how, we didn't have the different tools that we needed to aid for our hair. And so with that being said, we kind of brought about the, our hair not growing, not truly understanding that the trim has a lot to do with that, and then we touch about moisturizers. Now we touched that. We really didn't dive deep, not into it. But now, have you ever heard of that?
Okay, so I've heard of it, but no one's asked me to use a moisturizer instead of a cut, because what I do in my services when I am behind the chair is I'm educating the client front to back.
Right.
I don't expect them to know my job. I don't expect them to know what they want, which is why for years I've only had one new client service. You can't choose from a bunch of things. I don't know you.
Right.
I don't know your hair.
That's
and
right.
You don't know me. I can do everything.
Right.
But I specialize in curly cutting. And so when I do a new client service, I do a lot of education on feel your hair. This is the texture of your hair, not your curl pattern. This is the texture of your hair. This is the density of your hair. This is your curl pattern. I do a lot of pulling a buildup off of hair so that they can feel their hair in its bare and unencumbered state, so they have a baseline. To know that, okay, this is my hair at its most neutral. And when I put things on it, this is what I want it to feel, or this feel like, or this is what I don't want it to feel like. Then I let them look at their ends, because there's two sides of the same spectrum. There's folks that think they have all the split ends, and their ends are fine. And the people that all have all the split ends be like, but my ends are fine. And somehow they're friends with each other, and nobody ever meets in the middle.
Right.
Because the people that meet in the middle, you never hear them talk about split ends, because they get their haircuts, they shampoo and condition and style and keep it easy. They usually wear one or two hairstyles, and their hair is long or short by choice.
Right. Absolutely.
And so those folks you don't hear too much from.
Absolutely.
And so there's no product on the market. There's no moisturizer. There's no nothing they can take in that are old. They're the oldest parts of your hair, because this part of my hair grew out this part of my scalp at least 3 years ago.
Right.
And it's gone with me through everything. I have a 3-year-old. It's gone with me through everything that I've been through for the last 3 years.
That's right.
And so I can't expect this hair to be just like this hair.
That part.
Now, there's a lot of things that we have started doing because we've gotten into the self-care. We've gotten into learning how to care for our hair. But we also have to qualify the source of the information that we are getting. And it's not just the girls with the pretty hair.
Okay, that part.
And I'll admit it, like, I have what I like to call unicorn hair. I can relax my hair, lighten it, and put a toner on it, and my hair won't break.
Absolutely.
I can lighten my natural hair 4 or 5 times in one sitting without Olaplex. And my hair will be fine, and my curl pattern will be fine.
That part.
My hair's over here. Most 95% of people can't do that to their hair.
Not at all. Don't try it.
Don't try it at all. And the only reason why I tried is because I know what I'm doing. Because there was a time I didn't know what I was doing. We won't go there. Them reds was not cute. But at the same time, we have to quantify our sources. We can't just do everything the girl that has cute hair is doing because we don't know her texture. We don't know her density. We don't know her hair history. We don't know if she could put giraffe spit on her hair and it would be fine. Or if she could do we have to understand what's growing out on our scalps and then have a foundational baseline of understanding just general hair and body things as consumers. But as professionals, it's so important that we get back to cosmetology foundations.
Exactly.
I don't care if you're working with black clients, white clients, relaxed hair, curly hair, color. The foundations are the foundations.
Oh my God. Okay, let me hide this back. Because let me just say this. I say that so much. Hair is hair. Okay. And so we want to create this division. There is not. So thank you so.
The division is the styling. The division is the chemical treatments. And if you get them or not, the division is how you care for it.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
There's nothing necessarily different from somebody who has tight, dense coils.
Yes.
Than somebody who has silky, fine, loose hair. They all have texture. They all have density. They all have porosity. They all have a frequency of cleansing and conditioning. They all have a preferred cleanser and conditioner formulation. There's preferred styling, and then there's preferred color. And that is what changes. And I think as stylists, even for us, we get confused.
Yes.
We confuse styling with care.
That's right.
We confuse also cuts with styling. We confuse a lot of things because we didn't get great foundations.
That's right. That's right.
I went to cosmetology school. I was thinking about this earlier as I was kind of preparing for this. Our schooling is often about proximity.
That's right.
And
exactly.
That's right. To.
That's right.
And so if you go to a school and the instructors there can teach you relaxers, finger waves, roller sets, rod sets, that's what you're going to learn.
That's it.
You may not get any foundational hair cutting.
That's right.
Or you may go to a school like I did, which was brand new at the time, brand new concept. I went to Aveda in Tallahassee.
Okay.
I was a second starting class. I was one of 2 black people in the school when I started.
Okay.
And we were across the street from Florida State University.
Okay.
Hair cutting was drilled into my head.
That's right.
To the point of where by the end of graduating, I could do you a long layer haircut, partial blonde highlights, do you a round brush blow dry, and walk around the thing in an hour and a half.
Okay. Wow.
And
excellent.
So
okay.
Our schooling is about proximity.
And it is.
But once we graduate, we then have the responsibility of accessing advanced education in whatever we want to be doing.
That's right.
But the problem was advanced education did not exist.
That part. Yeah. In
black hair for so long. And I'm glad to see now we're formalizing systems, we're codifying curriculums.
That's right.
And the newer generation now understands that cosmetology school is just to prepare you.
That's it.
To learn how to learn.
That's right.
If you don't know how to properly manipulate hair or understand scalp or understand hair structure, you can't even go take an intermediate class after graduation to understand what's happening there.
You are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And then also too from state to state, now because there were certain schools where that was the only school in the city.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I'm very thankful too that I attended a school here in North Georgia, and the education was very different, even from certain schools that I saw in Atlanta when you would go and visit. So now you guys are able to now do your research to say what type of education you want.
Yes.
I'm
from college. Okay, so I also have a bachelor's degree in fine art.
Okay.
I went to Florida A&M, and when I went there, I was actually going to get my MBA.
Okay.
I got bored and ended up in the art department. That's a story. But my first week there, my professor's name was Dr. Johnson, said, "You are purchasing training. I want you to be very sure that this is the training that you desire.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the rundown." And that has always stuck with me because that's actually why I ended up changing my major, because I realized this was not the training I wanted. But dropping out was not an option for me because of my educational background and my family background. Yes. So it was like, let me find the area that's going to challenge me, that's going to give the training I want. I use my fine art degree every day that I do hair.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand line, shape, form, 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions, all of that, and I bring that into cut and color.
That's right.
But we as folks who have either gone to cosmetology school or thinking about going, we have to understand that if we are going, we have to then purchase the best training that we can afford. And if we can't afford the best training that we're accessible to, then we have to find a mentor.
That's right.
We have to find a mentor that's doing the thing that we want to be doing.
Exactly.
And a mentor that is willing to teach and
That's right.
share.
That's right.
If
Absolutely.
we've already graduated, it is now your job, if you're a working professional, to learn more. Go take foundational cutting classes. Go take chemistry classes for relaxers. Go take hair color classes for the company that you like to use their color. Then go take non-branded color classes. Like, so many people they complain about cosmetology school didn't teach me that.
Exactly.
It wasn't even the purpose of cosmetology.
Right. Exactly. You're right. You're exactly. Okay. They just want you to pass state board. Okay. And in a lot of cases, that was all that was truly taught, know? And so,
but even if you're not just passing state board, they gave you a book. Even if they did nothing else but tell you go read that book over there, you better go on to the scalp structure chapter.
Yes.
The hair structure chapter, the types of hair chapter. And I promise you can learn hair cutting if you just read the hair cutting chapter.
Okay, is right. That part. Okay. So now let me just say this. Now this right here is the ultimate. Okay, what we would typically hear in a salon, okay, is or for a client thinking that they hair has to be straight in order to trim it. I mean, it's just like, must it be, or, I'm coming to have it straightened just to trim, and so how many times have you heard that?
Oh, I would be a very rich woman if I could cash in on every time I've heard that. But this is the long-winded answer, because I know we're going to wrap up in a minute. This is the long-winded answer of why that is.
Okay.
Number one, there's so many hairstylists of all ethnicities that cannot cut hair.
That part.
And when I say cannot cut hair, they don't understand the foundations of hair cutting.
Right.
They may be able to execute the steps of a haircut, but they don't understand why those steps are the steps. And so when we think about that, let's just put that over here, because that's oftentimes why clients have hair cutting and trimming trauma.
Right.
Because they got to a stylist who did not understand the foundations of hair cutting and then never took a class or 2 or 3 or 4 in hair cutting until they fundamentally understood why elevation, no elevation, what does one layering, graduation, layering, over direction even mean?
Right.
And so they're just doing steps. And so, the stylist might have taken off 5 inches when you only wanted 2 because they didn't know how to cut hair.
Right, exactly.
And they were too proud to admit that they didn't know how to cut hair. But then we get into the conversation of, does your hair have to be straight to be cut curly? No, it does not on a general platform.
Yes.
But here is why that is true for so many hairstylists.
Yes.
Is because they have never, ever trained in cutting curly hair. There is this thought process that cutting curly hair is cutting by vibe. I'm just going to pick up a curl. I'm just going to go. And that's all we're doing.
Right.
Cutting curly hair, especially cutting tight curly hair. When I say tight curly, I'm using my curl pattern and tighter.
Yes.
Is more precision than cutting straight hair. If you are a stylist, you know who Vidal Sassoon is. And if you have not taken ABCs of hair cutting, go on and get into that online course. It's way cheaper now than it was when you had to buy the DVDs 20 years ago.
Yes.
But because we are specifically parting, we are specifically pulling out the hair. We can see, y'all can see my ends right now. You can see all my ends right now. And actually, I fluffed my hair up to make it bigger to be on this video today. But you have to understand curls. You have to understand the behavior of curls.
Right.
And you have to understand foundational hair cutting with the addition of understanding hair living in 3 dimensions.
Okay.
That is intermediate plus advanced training that a lot of stylists don't have.
Okay.
So when a client is just like, I just want to go to the stylist and get a haircut.
Yes.
How you get your haircut is going to be determined by the training and experience of the stylist in front of you.
So is it where that curl rests? Is that what it is? Like,
it's not necessarily even where the curl rests.
Okay.
It's number one, being able to style it so that you can see the ends properly.
Right.
2, it's understanding parting, finger angle, scissor angle, and being confident in that.
Right.
And then it's understanding the culture of the tight curl client. So many stylists were like, I hate YouTube. I hate Instagram. I never want to be on social media. Well, if you understand this, I went natural in 2003.
Yes.
In Tallahassee, Florida, at Florida A&M University. I had my hair cut off to a 2 clipper guard.
Oh, wow.
I've been a bald-headed girl a couple times in my life, and I love it. But people go natural for different reasons.
Yes.
And when I went natural, there was no community. There was no products. We didn't know anything. We were just shooting in the breeze.
Okay.
I didn't actually get into online community, so I started doing hair because I'm like, this can't be much different than styling my relaxed hair. So I'm going to shampoo it. I'm going to condition it. I'm going to find some products with hold, and I'm going to style it. It's going to be twisted, or it's going to be in a wash. It's going to be something.
Right.
And so I didn't stray too far away from what I knew about hair care and basic hair styling to work with my natural hair. But what happened was hair got popular.
Right.
People became influencers. Folks were making stuff up out of thin hair or not thin hair. And got popular doing these things.
Right.
And so we went from having no information to having a glut of information and no insight.
Right. A lot of it was not correct. Right.
No insight. And so we have to be tapped into the mind of the natural hair consumer before we can even service them. Because what's happening is there's a lot of clients. They go to a salon and they're getting bullied.
Right.
They're getting bullied to getting the services that the stylist can perform. Rather than that stylist going and looking at the actual market in front of them, seeing what that market is desiring, and then tailoring their educational experiences and their service experiences to what the client they actually want to serve. How I became a tight curl specialist, I was just a natural hair specialist in Chicago. I was doing silk presses and twisted up do's and twist outs. And I had like one relaxer client. I was like, you don't want me to do your relaxer, but you love me. I'm going to do it anyway because I'm going to try. But I was in the midst of my divorce and I was still in Chicago. I was looking around. I was like, I can't keep doing all these different services. I can't keep having all these different products. I didn't have the mental capacity. So I looked around, I was like, what does Chicago itself need? At that point, there was a lot of natural hairstylists.
Absolutely.
But I had clients kept coming to me and say, you were trained to cut curls.
Yes.
And I want you to cut my hair curly. And so I just cut everything else out and just started cutting. And that's how everything popped off because I saw a need in the market.
Yes.
And I went to fulfill that need in the market.
Okay, but now you said a couple of things. And let me just say this. I think you may have just answered why we have a lot of foolery going on with stylists right now, where they have classified these stylists as being Instagram stylists. And that's a whole nother topic I'm bringing you back in here to talk about. You said something. And when you said that, a light bulb went off in my head and said, okay, this is the reason why this exists. Okay, this problem here. We're going to bring you back to talk about that. But now, okay, so now we got to wrap it up. But I have to ask you this. Okay, so now, because we have Aeleise, the kinky, Cut It Kinky here, okay? So now when it comes to the curl definition, okay? Now the moisture that's in the hair, if the hair is balanced in moisture, and if they're like you said, you know, the ends are clean, you will have a nice defined curl.
Not necessarily.
What? She just don't. Okay, please shed light, love.
I say not necessarily because it depends on what you mean by a nice, defined curl pattern.
Okay.
Because curl patterns are like fingerprints.
Yes.
Everybody's got a different one, although me and my mother are almost identical. And most people have 3 to 5, sometimes more, different curl patterns.
Right, exactly.
They do have 3 to 5 different textures, but they also have 3 to 5 different curl patterns. if their hair quite often. And so that's going to depend on if that hair was thermally rearranged from previous heat styling, if that hair has, again, those multiple different curl patterns. What does somebody consider being a nice curl pattern? Because I can make magic on somebody's head and they not like it because they have not reckoned with their own curl pattern. So I can't make anybody, I can make it cute. Yeah, I can't make you like it.
That's right. Yes, yes.
I made this statement previously, is like when I was using heat, silicone, chemicals, all that kind of stuff, and a 450-degree flat iron, I can make any condition of hair
that
look great.
No.
When all I have is shampoo, conditioner, and some gel,
right,
whatever condition that hair is in
is that part
is going to show up as it is. And if your hair is in whatever condition and you want it to be in better condition, I can't do that over one salon appointment.
Okay,
that is a 9 to 36 month to maybe you got to cut all your hair off because I don't know what condition his hair is in.
That's right.
Situation. So I can't make guarantees. I can't make promises. All I can do is educate you, and I can show you how to create definition, because a definition starts at the shampoo bowl.
Okay.
If you have occlusive, and we all know occlusive is things that keep water out. If we have occlusive buildup in and on that hair strand, I'm now going to have to remove that with cleanser. Some people have so much occlusive buildup on their hair.
Yes.
That's not one salon appointment. That is consistency over time.
That's right.
Like, I don't know if Vitapont. If you remember Vitapont, you know Vitapont don't never come out in a shampoo. And then I'm telling you, it's like there's not a shampoo out there that will get Vitapont out of that hair at one time. And if you have any of those 80, 90-year-old clients, you just accept that hair is going to be dry, greasy, even after the shampoo.
Right. Exactly. Don't put no heat to it just
it's just put a roller set to that, that's it. But this is what I mean by every tight curl client, every natural hair client is coming to the salon with their different story.
Yes.
When I was behind the chair, they were telling me I was washing with baking soda and doing apple cider vinegar rinses. Then I was doing bentonite clay washes, and I'm looking at their hair like, that cuticle, the actual cuticle layer is so blown. And your cortex now is damaged.
Yes.
All I can do is, I can't even rehab.
Yes.
All I can do is pray.
Right. Right.
And try to make it cute as I transition you out of this hair.
That's right. Exactly.
So as a natural stylist, that can be really scary. Your client is going to walk out looking like the way they walk out because of what they brought into the salon.
That's right.
And all I can do is pour positivity in them. All I can do is say, if the girl on YouTube said this, that's great.
Right.
You're here with me. What brought you here? Because my haircuts, my service experiences have never been inexpensive.
Right.
They've never been inexpensive. And so at that point, what brought you into me is having experience with me. Something you saw piqued your interest. You trusted my knowledge. Now trust my hands to give you this personalized routine. And give me at least 12 months.
Yes. Right. That's right.
Because I don't do weekly. I don't do bi-weekly. I don't do monthly.
Exactly.
I do every 10 to 12 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
Unless I really love you. I might do every once a month. Because all of my appointments come with haircuts.
Yes. Right.
Because I need you to go home, learn your hair, learn your body, learn to care for yourself.
Reinforce those tools and techniques that you have taught them. Absolutely.
Learn the behavior of your hair.
That's right.
Once we do that and we get your hair to a certain condition, then we can play.
Then
we can play. Then if you want waist length hair, let's go for the waist length hair.
Yes.
If you want pink, green, and blue in the same hair, then we can do that. But we got to get there first.
Yes.
And you're right. The whole Instagram stylist thing. I'm technically an Instagram stylist. I can't even shade the people, but I'm also an Instagram stylist that's a subject matter expert.
That's right.
And
exactly.
This is also why I say it's important. Know your source. Understand their credentials. Know where they're coming from. A lot of the younger stylists, the newer stylists, this has been their marketing tool.
Yes.
Don't confuse marketing with education.
Yes.
All of us are marketing. Don't confuse that with education. And even if they're not marketing for a brand,
yes,
they're marketing for themselves. Because when somebody is out there talking, they're either selling you a service, they're selling you a product, or they're selling you an affiliate to a product somebody else makes. Myself included, because I sell classes.
Right.
I wrote a book named Product and Process.
Okay.
The Tight Curl Manual. We have a community because we live in a capitalist society. I can't do this for free. I have 2 kids in private school. They got tuition to be paid.
That part all day long.
So at that point, really use your sources, use your resources, but if you're a consumer, connect with someone you trust. If you don't trust them to cut your hair at first, go for a styling appointment.
Yes.
This is the one thing that's old school, relationships. Build relationships of people that you can trust. Don't go to somebody one time and be mad that they didn't give you exactly what they want. They just met you. That's like going on the first, that's like married at first sight. We are that ridiculous as a society. We're married at first sight. But for a first time appointment,
yes,
and you brought in whatever salon hair that has not been to the salon in
that's
3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years.
Right.
We're going to get what we're going to get as we get to know each other. It's as awkward as a first date.
Exactly. Oh,
but what if I didn't go on a first date with my husband? I would just be out here living in a high rise in LA.
When oh my God, I could have just ran through this wall because I tell you, you came in and you just truly just laid it out. I mean, like, I thank you so much. Those of you, she has a community, she has a book. Where can they get your book at?
Well, everything is at cutitkinky.com. And I think this is what I didn't say in the first one. So I have an old podcast that won't be updated named Curls Disrupted. If you like listening to podcasts, clearly we here. And then there's a new one coming out called The Snarky Curl Auntie, which is a lot more personal stories about being behind the chair and living life.
Okay, I love that. I love that name. Okay. I tell you, it's been great. It's been great. So just a recap, definitely understand that, depending on what you have on your hair, you may need several services in order to get their hair, healthy. And also too, just know that your hair do not necessarily have to be straight in order for you to trim it, but know that you need to have that professional that do know what they're doing.
Qualified.
Okay.
And I know this irritates me.
Yes.
But if you need to know, ask where they trained. Ask where they got their advanced training.
Absolutely.
Communicate. And I know a lot of us have online booking sites. If you can't talk to us, I'm that stylist too. But I also have a contact page on my website.
That's right.
I also have an email. It's much easier to just email somebody. And if they don't respond to you,
she answers.
That's not your hairstylist.
That's right.
That's like a guy. If you reach back and he ghosts you, don't come back in 6 months.
That's it.
I might be married then, boo.
Oh my God. But love, when I tell you guys, you better know. You have to know in order for you to trust, in order for you to move forward, in order for you to get the results that you want. Oh my God. So again, my name is Morello Kane, the Hair Debate on all platforms. Definitely you want to connect. This is the platform where we debunk, debate, and discover all things hair. Aeleise, you're bad with love. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, love.
Visit MorelloKane.com. Follow us on all social media at The Hair Debate and at Morello Kane. Don't forget to like and share.